Hey guys, I'm back to your channel. Welcome to another watch along. It is Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester City. A huge top four encounter for us to sink our teeth into and to feast our eyes upon this lunchtime. How are you all doing? Hope you are all well. As always with these videos, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, get involved in the chat. Would love to hear from you all today on this game. Not just this game, the performance, the result, anything football related. And of course, what you think it might mean for the Champions League race, the top four race, the race for European football in general. Because of course, as we know, the Premier League table is set up for one hell of an interesting finale with 10 games to go and a points difference of, I think it's something like 3, isn't it? But no, wait. 10th, Aston Villa, 42, and 4th, Man City, 47. 5 points difference. A 5 points difference between 10th and 4th place Manchester City. If City are to win today, they of course stretch that lead and they leapfrog their opponents today, Nottingham Forest, in the process. They will go third on 50 points, 4 points behind Arsenal, but solidified more so in the top 4. If Forest are to win today, they put 3 more points between themselves and Man City, meaning they will go 4 points clear of Pep Guardiola's side in the top 4. And what a hell of a season it's been for Nottingham Forest so far. And if they can round it off with Champions League football, that would have exceeded expectations of this season and more so, in my opinion, and been one hell of a campaign. Imagine Chris Wood rocking up to the Bernabeu next season in Champions League action. What an incredible moment that would be. Absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Today, though, before we get ahead of ourselves, we've got one hell of a game. Forest taking on City at the City ground. Forest, as we know, have been fantastic all season. City, their season has somewhat disappointed this campaign, but they're looking to salvage anything that they can. And mainly, that is to solidify themselves in the top 4, solidify themselves for Champions League football next season. We know that City's main focus is the FA Cup, getting into the Champions League, and preparation, shall we say, for the next campaign. We're going to take a look at the Forest team, how they line up. It's pretty much as predictable as you can get. Sells in goal, Aina in right back, Nico Williams left back, Milenkovic and Murillo at the heart of that defence, Dominguez, Anderson in the midfield, and then it's the usual forward 4 up front. Alanga on the right, Hudson-Odoi on the left, Gibbs White pulling the strings behind the striker known as Chris Wood. It's predictable. Their lack of squad depth is something that we may get onto a little later. But it's still a very good squad. And with the way that they've set up this season, they're going to be very difficult to break down. It's going to be a tough task for Manchester City today. But as well as that, they've got some very good players going forward. And they can really hurt Manchester City on that counter-attack. As far as what City are lining up, Edison in goal, Nunez at right back, Kusanov. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm terrible with names and I'm going to butcher them. So, Kusanov. I forgot how you pronounce his name. My bad. Partnering Diaz in the centre of the defence. Gvardiol at left back. Gonzalez and Silva in the midfield. Savio right. Doku left. Foden playing behind Haaland. Marmoush is on the bench. But so it's pretty predictable as a lineup you're going to get from Forest. For City, there are 1 or 2 options I guess you could throw into the mix, but it's still a very strong squad nonetheless. And it's going to be about whether those three in Savio and and Foden and Doku are going to be able to produce some moments that Haaland can feast off, because it's all about service. Whether Haaland has a good game or not mainly relies on service. So it's going to be a big task for them three. It's going to be a big task to break through what is going to be a well-disciplined and solid backline for Nottingham Forest. But it's also going to be tough for those defenders as well to stop what could be a very creative and tricky, fast-paced counter-attack that Forest obviously possess. Bear with me, I am going to eat. My food arrived late, so I do apologize. But it's going to be a very interesting battle. It's going to be a very interesting battle, this. Forest at home. Home crowd's going to be really up for this one. It's going to be pretty hostile for those Manchester City players, I would imagine. And as we know, this isn't like a Forest side that's going to simply roll over. This is going to be a Forest side that are going to battle. They have the incentive. Top four is there for the taking. A big win here today, and Forest can not solidify themselves in the top four, but they can give them a very good chance. They can put some distance between themselves and City, that's for sure. So it's going to be a very interesting battle, this one. Just go through the team news now. I will also point out, by the way, as always with these streams, there is a bit of delay. So try not to put any spoilers in the chat. Try not to obviously ruin it for people that may be behind as well. Always seems to be the case, but it's unfortunate, but it's just what obviously happens. And it's going to be a big weekend as well. It's a massive weekend as well for football in general. Liverpool playing later on today. They've got a very good chance of putting themselves 16 points clear before Arsenal play on Sunday. Some other big games that will affect the top, bottom, and of course, as we talked about, the Champions League race, the Europa League race, the European football race in general this weekend. And then, of course, big game on Sunday. Arsenal, Man United at Old Trafford. Massive game in prospect between Ruben Amorim's side and, of course, Mikel Arteta's side. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to this weekend. A lot to really savour. A feast for the eyes, as I am having a feast here. Referee today, Chris Kavanagh. All eyes on him, I guess, because referees again is under the spotlight. Right, we're ready for kickoff. Ready for kickoff. It's going to be a very. I imagine it's going to be City having the lion's share of possession, and Forest just looking to counter-attack, looking to win the ball in the right areas, and then looking to pounce on a City defense that obviously has improved since the new signings have come in. I think Gonzalez in the midfield has definitely helped to tighten up a defense that was obviously leaking chances, leaking goals, had no real structure to it, had no real leadership. I think he's really come in and has really hit the ground running, and he needed to really, given the absence of Rodri and given the state that obviously he was walking into at City. But they're still not exactly watertight, and you wouldn't expect them to be either, considering everything that's been going on and considering it's a new player. You know, it's going to take some time to properly gel in as Savio goes down on the challenge of, I believe, Nico Williams. Nice little burst of pace there. And yes, Nico Williams takes him down. It's going to be a very interesting battle down both wings, really, for both sets of players. Nico Williams taking on Savio. You've got Aina on this side against Jeremy Doku, who's on the ball now, who has rinsed a couple of fullbacks in recent games. And then, of course, on the other side of things, you've got Gvardiol against Elanga. You've got Hudson-Odoi against, I believe it's Mateus Nunes that's going to be on that right-back position as Phil Foden gets a cross in and it's headed away by Murillo, and Forest can look to maybe counter-attack. So there's a lot there to really be excited about and look forward to in terms of individual battles right the way across the pitch. So it's going to be a very interesting game, to say the least. Oh, poor mistake there, and it's allowed Forest to have a cheap corner. Mateus Nunes, poor pass. It's gone out for a Forest set piece. This is where Forest have to take these chances. Big chance presented itself. We know the aerial threat that Forest can possess, the likes of Milenkovic. Murillo, of course, an absolute beast. Forest need to take some of these chances. Ball gets played in. It's up to the near post. It's dealt with initially by City, but it's headed back in, and that will be easy as it goes out of play for a goal kick, and Edison can restart play. We have a wasted opportunity, that, from Forest, in all honesty. Titan Rowan, my guy, long time no see. I'm good, bro. How are you doing? Hope you are well. Nice to have you along with us here today. As Hudson-Odoi cuts inside from that left-hand side, and we know what he can do. Elliot Anderson, Nico Williams. Forest just keeping the ball here. Just need a nice spell of possession, this, from Forest. Settling into the game well. I know we're only just under 4 minutes away, but it's a big game, this. Working it down the left-hand side. Now working it inside. Ball gets crossed in. It's dealt with and cleared away by City. And Forest can now recycle possession with Murillo. Liverpool have been doing amazing since I last joined the stream. Yep, absolutely. I'm loving live right now. Even tough it hurts, I'd rather you guys win than Arsenal. Hoping for a Forest win today. I mean, I like it. Are you a United fan? Are you a United fan? I thought. I thought you were a United fan. If you are, I'm a bit surprised. I'm a bit surprised that you want Liverpool to go and equal your Premier League. United, of course. Why would you want Liverpool to go and win or equal your amount of Premier League titles? I'm a bit confused by that. I wouldn't have thought a United fan would want Liverpool to do that. I really wouldn't have thought that. But I agree with you on the Forest thing. I would love it if Forest actually do. So, your quality. Hey, Jordan, how you doing, bro? Lovely to see you, man. I hope you are well, my friend. I'd love to, bro, but unfortunately, I've got work later, so I'm unfortunately gonna miss the game. I would love to join you though. Hopefully, we can set something up sometime later on down the line. I'd love to join you, bro, but yeah, say unfortunately, I have work, so I'm gonna unfortunately be missing the game, or at least not to do a watch along anyway. I'll still be updating, but yeah, glad to have you along, bro. Anyway, hope you are well, my friend. How did I just subscribe to you? Can't stand Arsenal fans. I'm sorry. I get you. It's not all Arsenal fans. I just want to clarify. It's not all Arsenal fans, but I completely get where you're coming from with certain Arsenal fans that are a bit crazy and a bit deluded. I get you. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I'd love to, but yeah, work's keeping me away, I'm afraid. I'm a diehard United fan, and I obviously would love City to come back and win the league since it means nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's like City win the league. It's like who cares? I mean, it might mean more this year because if they actually did somehow manage to miraculously come back, that would mean 5 in a row. And no one's matching that, at least not in my lifetime anyway. So, yeah, I get what you mean, bro. Titan, I sub to you. Guys, go and sub to Jordan. He was on a live stream with me last week. Shot just went wide of the post from Erling Haaland. I think it might have been, he's claiming it might have been deflected. I think the referee's given it as a goal kick. Forest giving away possession cheaply, and then Haaland just drags his shot just a little past the post. Very close to opening the scoreline here, but Haaland just drags his shot wide of the mark. Yeah, everyone go subscribe to these guys. Titan Rowan, Jordan Hyman, both of these guys, absolute gold. Yeah, guys, go and do that. Go and do that because both quality, both very good guys. Yeah, well, nice to have you both along for the ride here, gentlemen. Thanks, Jordan. Haha. Jordan's got a channel. Like I said, go subscribe to him. Doing some excellent stuff over on Jordan Hyman's channel. So go and subscribe over to them. Absolutely awesome. That's DVT. I get you. So quality stuff. Just under 10 minutes gone. Still 0-0. Haaland going close to opening the scoreline. Warning signs for Forest, who started off the game really well with some early possession. Didn't quite make anything count. But yeah, Forest close to going to go down. What's your analysis in the Premier League in general this season, and what is your prediction for different cups and tournaments? I think obviously it's not done until it's done, but obviously I think Liverpool will see out the Premier League from here. Champions League wise, that one is interesting. I quite fancy Liverpool. I'm not trying to be biased in that, as Savio puts in a cross and it's headed away very well by Aina, only as far as Jeremy Doku. Now, what can City do with the ball here? Doku looking to stand up. Dominguez, he manages to get the ball through to Foden, but it's cleared away by Forest, and City can begin again with Edison. Champions League's a bit tough because I understand there's a few teams in that obviously could spring a surprise. There's a few teams in that you would say are certs. Real Madrid, for example. Again, I fancy us, but Will we get past PSG on Tuesday? That's going to be a big task. Will we get past then Villa or Club Brugge in the next round? Then we, of course, have got one of the Madrid teams or Arsenal, it appears. That it's going to be tough on that side of the draw. On the other side of the draw, it looks a bit more favourable, but it's still tough again. Inter, fantastic defensive record. Loving Inter this season. Barcelona, free-flowing Barcelona. You know, if we can get a Barcelona into semi-final, that is going to be the immovable object meets the irresistible force. And I am here for it. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Chelsea have got the Europa Conference League on lockdown. I mean, they should anyway. If they don't, that's absolutely embarrassing, as foul there from Mateus Nunes on Callum Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, Chelsea should have that on lockdown. I did predict at the beginning of the season United to win the Europa League. I just think they're a cup team. And even though they're not exactly enjoying their worst period, their best period right now, I don't know. I've just got a sneaky feeling that, like similar to how they won the FA Cup last season, United could do something in that competition that sets the team up for years to come, and may give Amorim a bit of a break. In saying that, though, it is United, so again, that competition could be up for grabs. Carabao Cup, I think Liverpool will win it on Sunday. Again, it's not a foregone conclusion, and we shouldn't take it for granted what Newcastle are currently going through right now. But at the same time, yeah, Liverpool should be winning that competition on Sunday. And FA Cup, again, looking at on paper, that should be City's. But if Bournemouth can do a job on them in the lovely ball played in, but Aina tracks it all away. Well played. If Bournemouth can do a job on City in the FA Cup, I think it could be a lot more of an interesting tournament. You know, they've got Villa in there, you've got Brighton, you've got Fulham. I really am looking forward to the FA Cup this season, and it'll be even more exciting if City obviously get knocked out. If City get knocked out, I think it makes the competition more interesting because you've got someone different rather than the usual big six teams. Even Forest is still in it, so there's a lot of intrigue to it. People may not exactly be excited because there's no Liverpool in it, there's no Arsenal in it. United are now knocked out, and you know Chelsea are not in it anymore, and some of the big teams. That's what made it a long range drive, and long range drive from Gonzalez, I think. Yeah, Gonzalez just wide of the mark. But again, another warning sign for Nottingham Forest. He hit that with some venom. He absolutely drove that. And I think it hit the post, actually. Hit the outside of the post and went out. That's very close from City's point of view. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to all of that, to all the competitions as we head towards the conclusion of this season. Jordan says, PSG break us down on the counter-attack in Paris. Our final ball just wasn't good enough, was it? Our final ball on that night was just not good enough. And then, ironically, as Haaland's swing and a miss. And ironically, the best play that we had and the best pass of the night from our perspective came from the most unlikely player in Darwin Núñez, who set up Harvey Elliott for the goal. So, yeah, it wasn't great in terms of our attacking display, but hopefully at Anfield will be much better. As Hudson-Odoi plays a nice ball through to Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson back now towards Nico Williams, who finds Gibbs White on the edge of the penalty area. Gibbs White being stood up by Foden, finds an outlet to the left, back towards Hudson-Odoi, but it's cleared away by Kusanov. Praise there. love your analysis, objective with reflection. I tried to be. You know, it's difficult to obviously be a Liverpool fan and not throw in a little bit of bias here and there. But overall, I don't see the point in being delusional to the point where I don't give other teams credit. It's why I don't really like, you know, like certain members of us. Oh, if Wood's touch there had been better, he could have actually had a shot on goal. Decent cross in, and he found himself a bit free in the penalty area there. It's just his touch, his first touch let him down, unfortunately. Yeah, there's no point being deluded. There's no point being completely biased. I'm not saying you can't be biased. I'm not saying you can't obviously back your own team, but if you're completely biased, what's the point? What is the point? It just doesn't make any sense to me if you're obviously not being objective and not considering other teams. That's next week. Yeah, it's a massive week for Liverpool, bro. Massive week for Liverpool. Carabao Cup next week. PSG midweek. Opportunity to go 16 points clear today against Southampton. It's going to be a monumental week for Liverpool. And for a lot of other teams, I guess you could say. Villa, Champions League, Arsenal, of course, they're pretty much through, aren't they? I don't see PSV scoring at the very least 6 goals to take it to a penalty shootout. So I guess they're through as well, aren't they? Newcastle are very unlucky with Gordon out. Is Isak injured or will he be available? Yeah, Gordon's out because of his own stupidity. It may seem a little harsh, but Gordon's out because of his own stupidity. I know Lewis Hall is out. That's going to be a big miss for them as well. I'm not sure about Isak. If anyone knows, drop it in the chat. I'm not sure about Isak because I heard he may have been injured. But when I was looking at my fantasy team earlier today, there was no caution flag on him. I was looking because he's in my team. There was no caution flag above him. There was no yellow or red flag. So I don't really know what the situation is with him, to be honest. I think Botman's out as well for that game. I think I remember reading earlier today that he's also ruled out for the game. So there's a big injury list that's developing at Newcastle, which is so unfortunate. But again, I will say this to Liverpool fans who maybe are starting to get a bit ahead of themselves, that maybe the game is already won without a ball being kicked. Last season, we went in with a bit of an injury crisis. We went into that game with a very, very thin line of depth in our team. And yet our kids managed to drag us over the finish line against Chelsea. So if anybody's out there thinking that this game is already won, give your heads a wobble because it doesn't work like that. Football, and especially in a cup final, does not work like that. Those Geordies are going to be traveling in their numbers. They're going to give every ounce of passion and love and energy that they have in order to maybe lift their first piece of silverware for many a year. So, yeah, I wouldn't count my chickens yet before they hatch, is basically what I'm trying to say. There's always room for banter, but yes, completely biased can be too much sometimes. Yeah, that's why I can't stand, like, you know, AFTV Ty. I've never met him, obviously, and I'm hoping it's sort of like a character he's playing. Although I have heard in certain interviews that it's not. But someone like him as prime example was Exhibit A of someone who's completely biased and completely delusional at times. I can't stand it. I can't stand it because you can't have a conversation then. I feel like with those kind of people, you can't have a debate and conversation because everything is seen through rose-tinted glasses. No. It's just people like that, not for me. Not for me. What we got here? Just checking my bets, actually. Nothing's really happened in the game, to be honest. Nothing really of note, anyway. That's 2 actually. That's pretty good. Would love Eddie Howe to get his first trophy. I mean, I would. I just don't want it to be at Liverpool's expense. I agree, though. He's done a very good job at Newcastle. It'd be interesting to see how they go this season. It'd be interesting to see if they do get into the Champions League, and then what happens to some of their big players if they do, or even if they don't. The likes of Gordon, the likes of Isak. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with those kind of players if they get Champions League or if they don't. Forest looking to play out on the edge of the penalty area here. It's gone to Gibbs White on the right-hand side. His cross is deflected and into the hands of Edison. Ty is not a character. I think he's crazy. I mean, like I say, I've heard like Robbie in certain interviews. I've heard certain other AFTV characters in certain interviews basically say Ty is exactly how he appears on camera as he is in real life. They say he's a bit toned down a little bit, but as far as what a footballing personality goes, the bias, the delusion is somewhat there. So, yeah. 150 million on Isak, what you're saying. Depends how much Liverpool have to spend this summer. It really does, because I think they were going to be... we'll obviously talk about it in a bit more detail at some point when obviously we can focus more on Liverpool straight away. But I think it would depend on where you sit. As a Liverpool fan, I know we don't spend a lot of money in the summer. And if we are going to drop 150 million on one player, that pretty much means that's our summer over and done with. So do I really want that? Probably not, when you consider that there are going to be other holes in the squad that we'll need to fill. I imagine we're going to be getting rid of a lot of players this summer. There are a fair few that I think we'll get rid of. I think Diaz is out the door. I think Jota's out the door. I think Nunez is out the door, just to name three. I think we need a new left back. I think we need a new centre back. We can maybe look at the DM position, maybe for giving Ryan Gravenberch a bit of a rest. So I think there are a few positions that we may need to look at and we may need to obviously address. So dropping 150 million, which I imagine would be either all of or the majority of our transfer budget, if we are actually ever going to spend anything in these transfer windows, might not be the wisest call, even though I absolutely adore Isak, and I think on his day, he is probably the best striker in the Premier League, and that's including Erling Haaland. Not just in, I think Haaland's a better finisher, but I think in terms of being a better all-round striker, I think Isak is probably better. And he may not get a lot of assists either, Isak, but the space he creates, his movement to stretch defenders, you only have to look at that game in the second leg against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup to know what he offers you outside of just GA. So I love Isak to pieces, but I don't necessarily think it's probably the wisest move if we don't have that much of a spending budget this summer. I mean, Liverpool didn't spend a single dime last summer, so much as stacked. Yep. Didn't spend anything. We spent 10 million on Chiesa. We'll be spending 25 million this summer on Mamadashvili. I think it's 20 million, 20 or 25 million. I think somewhere in that region. And whatever else we decide to do in terms of buying and selling. If Liverpool win the Premier League and place good in the UCL, yeah, but we've done that for we've placed good in the Premier League and done well in the Champions League for a fair few years now, and didn't really do much in the summer of any tournament. As Savio runs into the box, it's crossed, it's deflected away. He's claiming for a handball. It did look like it struck the hand, but it didn't seem like it would be intentional. Plus, I think the closeness of him and the defender, I don't think that will be overturned by VAR, as City come again here with Bernardo Silva, tees up Nunez, and that is probably gone flying high into the Trent. The River Trent probably has a new football in it as, not even Nunez, it's Gonzalez, sorry, my bad. Isak is the most complete striker. I agree with you. I agree. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And I was a bit skeptical. I knew his talent in terms of finishing, but I was a bit skeptical when he first came into the Premier League. I didn't know if he physically would be able to match the Premier League, the tenacity of it, the demand of that league. But I've been proven wrong. He has really come on leaps and bounds these past couple of years and has developed into one hell of an all-round striker, in my personal opinion. Sesko is also very good, 67. I don't really rate Sesko. I've seen him a few times. I think there is something there, but I wouldn't be dropping 60, 70 million on him, in all honesty. And I'd be slightly disappointed if Liverpool were to go and do that. Let Arsenal go after him. Let Arsenal go after him. That would be my choice anyway. We'll see, obviously, what happens. It's not like he's a terrible player or a bad player. I don't really rate him. Like, I don't. Here's Aina on the right hand side now as Forest look to break. Cross blocked. Back to Aina. Guardiola standing him up well. Found Elanga. Back to Aina. Looking to try and break down this City defence here of Forest. Dominguez. Aina. Oh, poor ball in the end, and Doku can now spring forward and wins a free kick from Gibbs White's challenge. Oh, yellow card as well. Yellow card for Gibbs White. Gibbs White is booked for a challenge on Doku. I mean, it is a cynical foul. It's a cynical foul. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Those ones are weird. "25 minutes gone. First booking of the game. Morgan Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. City have gone close on a couple of occasions, just whistling past the post from both Haaland and Gonzalez. But other than that, no real clear-cut opportunities of note for either side. What am I stacking? I ordered KFC. It was meant to arrive before the game started, and it pretty much... I mean, it did arrive before the game started, to be fair, but it was meant to arrive in good time before it started, and it arrived a fair few minutes before the game, before I even went live. So I'm kind of having to go live and also snack at the same time. So yeah, it's not ideal, but gotta eat. Man's gotta eat. Where are we at with just double checking my bets here? One corner for Forest. Could be better, could be worse. Could be better, could be worse. Liao on left wing for Liverpool. What he's in? I don't rate Liao. I don't rate Leao in the slightest. Every time, I don't know whether, I mean, I will admit, I am not a religious fan of Serie A. I don't watch Leao every week. But every time that I do see him, I'm always left disappointed and let down because he's got tremendous pace. He's absolutely electric, but his end product is poor. And I would probably be expecting him to have come a long way by now with his end product, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. It really does not seem to be the case. Foden back to Guardiola in the penalty area. Guardiola back to Foden. It's struck. It's blocked. Forest once again survive another scare as Foden is then penalised for fouling. I can't see who that was. A Forest player. We'll just go with a Forest player, and Forest will relieve some pressure. Big block there from Anderson or Dominguez, one of them two. But yeah, Forest survive another scare there. Again, another half chance goes a begging for Manchester City. Yeah, I don't rate Rafael Leao. I just think he's a bit of a pace merchant. I don't think he's got much end product to his game. Again, I could, like I said, I'm not a religious fan of Serie A, so maybe I am wrong here, but I just don't see it personally. Or Leao in the Prem generally, since you have Milan shirt on. Yeah, I love this shirt. I really do love this shirt. I think he'd be great for a very good counter-attacking team, like a Spurs or something. Well, not necessarily Spurs, maybe in this current form under Ange Postecoglou, but maybe in terms of an Aston Villa, maybe. And Aston Villa could be decent. A Forest, I mean, if Forest get Champions League, then who knows, really? Who knows, really? As Nico Gonzalez goes in the book for Man City. Who knows, really, what Forest could do if they get Champions League? But a Leao for Forest could be interesting with the way that they play. He could definitely fit in. Don't you dare say Man United with volleyball. It would work, wouldn't it? If you brought Solskjaer back, chuck Leao in, and did the whole kick and run thing. That could work, right? Come on. Forest have an ambitious owner. I like him. Absolutely. I mean, remember when they brought in Navas on loan? I know he's a goalkeeper, but no one was expecting Keylor Navas to be rocking off at the City ground. It's a very ambitious move, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they develop. Whereas the free kick just goes. It's claiming he wants a penalty or a free kick or corner, or no, not free kick. Having them both. Penalty or corner, it seems, Gibbs White, but he ain't getting anything. And City can start the play again. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, bit of pressure from Forest, but I think City just about get away with playing through the press and can go long and look for Haaland as he manages to hold the ball up for Foden. Guardiola down the line to Doku. Doku tries to turn Aina, and Aina does very well in stopping him. Aina's done very well against Doku so far. Doku in the past few games has skinned a lot of defenders alive, had them on toast, but Aina so far has really stood strong and has really not given Doku much to really feed upon. As Foden goes into the area, cuts it through, and Bernardo Silva should at least be hitting the target there, but he skies it. Quick throw in. Foden finds himself in a bit of space that Forest just fell asleep with a little bit there. And Foden's cross found Bernardo Silva. and he just puts it over the bar. He should really be hitting the target there, Bernardo Silva. But again, another chance goes a begging. 6 attempts. That makes it 6 attempts. They just put the stat on screen. 6 attempts for City so far, none for Nottingham Forest. But I would say that in those 6 attempts, I wouldn't say any of them have really been a clear-cut opportunity for City so far. That may have been the clearest one yet. But Bernardo Silva skies it. Do you see KDB leaving City? Oh, absolutely. I think he's gone. I think a lot of City players probably will be going this summer as well. I think there's going to be a complete overhaul at Manchester City. I think this season has been a real eye-opener for them. I think the likes of Jack Grealish is gone. I think some other players may have run their course there. I think John Stones maybe as well. I think maybe Bernardo Silva as well. I think there are 1 or 2 other players that may have run their course at City. And I think there's going to be a massive overhaul of players. And I think Pep's going to try and set City up, not just for him over the course of the next couple of years, but for the next manager to come in and try and leave something like what Klopp did for Slot over at Liverpool. So I think there's going to be a big overhaul of players, I think. And KDB will be one of them, yeah. City free kick, ain't a foul there. Gvardiol, the victim in that. Savio crossed in, Murillo block, cleared away, but it's gone out for a goal kick already. Coming up to 40 minutes on the clock. No real attempts on goal. Still 0-0. It's not been the best of games in all honesty, but I think that's a lot down to how well Forest have defended. I think that's also how well City have also defended. I give City some credit. It's been a very, very good defensive display from both sides, I'd say. Langer and Hudson-Odoi linking up. Hudson-Odoi gets away from his defender and is looking to get into the penalty area. He goes down under the challenge. The referee waves away any sort of protest of a penalty, and City can come away with the ball, but only as far as Gibbs White. But he also then loses it, and a battle in there as well. And no foul given from Elliot Anderson on Foden. A bit surprising there. I thought that would look a bit of a foul from Elliot Anderson in all honesty, but Forest now advanced with the ball. Gibbs White, it bobbled, he slices it, it goes out of play for a goal kick. Poor from Gibbs White. I want to see that challenge from Anderson again. He gets the ball first, but it's the follow through that catches him on the knee. It would have been a very harsh one to call, in all honesty, I think. Doku knocks it in, and it's just ahead of Foden, and Forest get rid. Oh, gets away with the awkward bounce there, Diaz. And City can recycle possession again. Savio cross blocked. Forest can deal with it again. Murillo away down the line. But it's back as soon as it can with Man City. City just asserting their dominance, having a lion's share of possession as we expected. Here's Doku. Doku strikes. It's a shot on target, but it's a comfortable save by Matt Sells. Cut inside well, gets past his man. Right-footed shot straight at Sells. Comfortable shot stop by the goalkeeper. And Langer now down the left-hand side. He cuts the ball back, but it's well dealt with, and City can again clear away. Here's Murillo. Gives White. Sells looks long. Oh, what a ball that might be. It's Chris Wood. He tried to lift it. He saw Edison just off his line a little bit. Didn't lift it enough. Edison did very well to kind of outfox him there, but it was just a long ball over the top by Sells, and Chris Wood was racing onto it, and he just sees Edison off his line, just tries to lift it over and doesn't get the power, doesn't get the lift, and it's a comfortable catch in the end from Edison. But it's a nice idea. It was a nice idea. It wasn't for lack of trying. Looks like there's a problem for Mateus Nunes here. That was the players a bit of a water break, even though half time is roughly about 30 seconds away. See how much injury time there is. 2 minutes of injury time, but we have played about 30 seconds. Well, we've already gone into 30 seconds, shall we say. Marilla looking down the line for Hudson-Odoi, cut out though by City, and they can maybe go again, although well run back there by Nico Williams. And Forest can maybe look to try again down this left-hand side. Cleared away. And foul against Nico Williams there, and City have a free kick. Savio again being fouled by Williams. Half time almost upon us. Not been the best 45 minutes by any stretch of the imagination. Hoping for better in the second. There we go. Half-time whistle. Forest 0, Man City 0 at half-time. It is not the best game of football you're ever going to see in your life. City probably had the better of the opportunities. Doku, a shot on target. Haaland pulling one just past the post. Gonzalez smashing one off the outside of the post. And at the other end, Chris Wood just giving Edison some catching practice, I guess you could say. Wasn't the best of efforts, but it was a nice idea, just wasn't properly executed. But in saying all that, it sets it up nicely for a second 45 minutes, doesn't it? Hopefully, fingers crossed, we hope. Lucky, what's up, bro? Long time no see. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you are well. Lovely to see you, my friend. Welcome along. Yeah, not the best 45 minutes, was it? Not the best 45 minutes, but fingers crossed it can get better in the second half. Just if Forest defense is going to be this disciplined, just got to move the ball a bit quicker. Just got to try and stretch the defense a bit more. Haaland's got to get in the game more, and I know that's not necessarily his game, but that's where maybe a Marmoush can come in. Maybe a Marmoush comes on in the second half, and maybe his runs and maybe his support of Haaland can maybe complement Haaland somewhat in this kind of environment. I think that's where City could obviously go with it in the second half. For Forest, it's got to take the game in certain stages. They're doing really well right now. They're keeping City at bay for the most part. They're looking dangerous on the counter-attack. They just can't properly execute that final ball. So if they can work that out, maybe they can cause some real damage to the City side going forward. But right now, like I say, the final ball just isn't quite there. But that's it defensively. Apart from one or two nearly moments, it's been a solid display so far from the Nottingham Bay side. Don't forget to smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both of us will always and forever be greatly appreciated. We are in half-time territory right now. Get involved in the chat, people. Let me know what you guys think. What do you make of the game so far? What are your predictions for the second half? How do you think both teams can go about their business in their second 45 minutes? Would love to know what you guys have to say. A second 45 minutes. Oh, wait, it says. Not too many highlights from that first half either. Like I say, there's one shot on target from Jeremy Doku. Let's just go through the stats. Bear with me 1 second. City have had 68 possession in comparison to Forest 32. They have an expected goals of 0.54. They've had 7 shots in total, only forcing 1 save from the goalkeeper Sells. Forest have had 2 shots, 1 save from the City goalkeeper Edison. That Chris Wood one, obviously. Both have had 1 shot on target. City have hit the woodwork once. Yeah, it's not exactly been the most lively of encounters so far. Hopefully, fingers crossed that changes in the second half, but we shall see. Yeah, it's a bit of a timid affair so far, isn't it? Both teams don't really want to make a mistake. Both teams don't really want to give anything to the other team, I guess. But at the same time, in doing that, maybe in the second half, risks will have to be taken. They're just so good, aren't they, Forest, defensively? Very solid defensive structure they have. It's going to be interesting to see how they do as well. I know earlier on in the stream I was talking about Newcastle, and I was talking about if they get top 4, if they get Champions League, or even if they don't, what will happen to some of their best players. The same sort of goes for Forest as well. I think some of their players have really come on leaps and bounds this year alone. And it's going to be just interesting to see how many of those key players that they can keep. I know, for example, Murillo. I would love to see Murillo at Liverpool. I would love to see Murillo at Liverpool. I think he's just an absolute beast of a defender. I just think he's absolute quality. I really, really do like him. And I know that Liverpool aren't the only one that are seemingly interested. There are a fair few teams out there that have reportedly been interested in him as well. Not just him, but there's Gibbs White, who has again put in another consistent season so far this campaign. Hudson-Odoi really managed to find his feet at Forest after obviously sort of faltering a little bit at Chelsea. Elliot Anderson, I know he was only brought in last summer, but I feel like he's had a very big platform to shine this season, and I think he's grasped that opportunity with both hands. Aina as well, decent fullback. I think there are a fair few players in this Forest side that have maybe caught the eye this season, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Forest can keep hold of those players going forward, because they are building something very good here. I think the only problem that I would see with Forest for the here and now is maybe their squad depth isn't the best. And I think Nuno's made note of that to the media and to the fans, that maybe he didn't quite get the January transfer window that he was really looking forward to. Because as I mentioned when we were going through the team news at the beginning of the stream, Forest lineup is fairly predictable. There may be one or two players that you may go, that could obviously be something that he changes. That could obviously be something that maybe he doesn't do in this game, but will do in this game. Either way, it's a fairly predictable lineup. And I would argue that the lacking strength and depth obviously makes that a fairly predictable thing. Like, for example, Liverpool, you can maybe say like 8 of the 11 players maybe is fairly predictable. You obviously know who the goalkeeper is going to be. You know who the main right back is. You know who the main centre backs are, the left back. You know at least, I would say, 2 of the midfielders that are going to be in the squad in the lineup each and every week. You know Salah's going to start. But that third midfielder, that left winger, that striker, there's a bit of mystery to it. And I'd say you could say that with most teams maybe, but Forest is more fairly predictable, I would say. And that's maybe where this team somewhat may fall down this season. Maybe it is going to be, do they have the legs and the engine to continue going at 100 mile an hour week in, week out? Will they have the legs to do that? If not, they could wilter away a little bit. I still think they'll get European football of some kind, which will still be a fantastic achievement. Nonetheless, let's not belittle it here and say that if Forest are to slip up and obtain Europa Conference League or Europa League football, that's not a successful season, because for me, it will be, because of how amazing they've done and how much expectation they have exceeded to get to this point. So whatever Forest do towards the end of the season now will still be a fantastic achievement for each and every single one of those for those players and each and every single one of those fans. Fantastic achievement. And I just think that's just my only concern with Forest is going to be the squad depth. And then, of course, you have to beef up that squad next year, because you'll be playing every 3 or 4 days. You'll be playing a game at the weekend, you'll be playing a game midweek, game at the weekend, game midweek. And it will just be like that constantly throughout the first half of the season at least. And then depending on how far you go in obviously certain competitions, that could obviously continue going into the new year as well. They will need to properly beef up their side. As mentioned earlier by Titan Rowan, their owner is fairly ambitious. So we shall see what obviously the summer brings for Forest. But it's going to be an interesting one, to say the least, especially if they do manage to keep their nerve and obtain European football of some kind. Because, as we know, football is these days more of a squad game than ever. And for me, I just don't necessarily think Forest have the strength in depth to go 3 or 4 days game to game, or maybe even towards the end of this season, maybe just keep up the intensity and tenacity that they've shown for large parts. I mean, they've given City a good run for their money here so far. So we shall see, obviously, if that continues. But yes, it's going to be a very interesting battle, to say the least, for Nottingham Forest. The second half is about to begin. Hopefully, this is a much better second half than it was first. We can only hope. City are about to get us underway. Whistle goes, and the second half has begun. Edison looks long initially. Like I say, it was going to be interesting to see how long before these two teams make changes. Like I would say for City, for me, the obvious one is probably going to be Marmoush. I think he can maybe give City a little bit of an injection in terms of movement, pace, speed, and maybe even support to Erling Haaland, who has been virtually non-existent in this game so far. Does it actually see how many? Haaland had 12 touches in that first half. 12. One of them a shot that he dragged wide. So definitely need to get him more in the game. I said before the game, it's going to be interesting to see if those players can obviously, those players that are behind him can obviously provide service to him. The likes of Doku, the likes of Foden, and Savio, of course. And it looks like from the start of the second half, Doku and Savio have actually switched wings. So now it appears that Doku is going to be challenging Nico Williams, and Savio is going to be challenging Aina. I mean, Doku didn't get anything out of Aina in the first half. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Cross goes in. It's it's a good stop. It's a good save. Dominguez, it was arriving deep from a cross. Got good connection on it, to be fair, but fairly comfortable save for Edison. But it's just the way that he caught it looked very good. It's gone down as well, Dominguez. It looks like a bit of a collision. Yes, Alanga's cross. It's a shot, and then does he hurt himself on the shot? Is a volley from him, and he does well to somewhat get it on target. Just kind of lacked direction and power to really kind of trouble Edison, I guess you could say. But it just seems to have got maybe an injury after that. Seems to be okay to carry on though. Early warning sign though for City. Have to be ready, have to be alert. Cannot take your eye off this Forest side. Clear away by Nunes. Foden on the challenge from Gibbs White, who is on a yellow card, by the way. That's another thing we should also factor in. Gibbs White already on a yellow card. Could be interesting to watch going forward. Wood with the challenge on Kusanov, and he is penalised for that foul, and City can wave a free kick. It just seemed like he does kind of push him. Fair enough from the ref. Fair enough. City restart play. Doc on the right hand side finds Foden. Doku keeps going and gets a cross in. It's cleared away. And Forest can come away with the ball now with Elliot Anderson. He's looking long down the line to Elanga, and Kusanov just about manages to deal with it and put it out for a throw-in. It's actually done better, Kusanov. Obviously, he had that pretty horrible display in the opening 5 minutes or so against Chelsea on his debut. But then since then, I think he's actually grown a lot more into the Premier League and into the City side. So fair play to him. Obviously, we'll wait and see how he develops still. But yeah, he definitely has settled down pretty well, it looks like, despite having a pretty shaky start. Murillo. Nice ball, nice idea, not properly executed, but they have won a corner out of it. Corner out of it, Forest. Big opportunity this. Kusanov, it seems like. It was a long ball by Murillo, chested down by Gibbs White. Elliot Anderson might have been offside in the build-up, but no, referees judged it to be a corner. Cross comes in, headed down at the near post by Gibbs White. It has gone wide of the mark, and it'll be a goal kick to City. But again, another bit of a warning sign there for City. Another warning sign that Forest are not out of this. They can always spring a surprise or two. Very big warning sign indeed for City. Not to get too complacent, not to get frustrated. Good challenge from Williams. Good play by Forest this. Here's Williams. Hudson-Odoi. Looking to cut inside on that right foot of his. Does, but has to go backwards. Well defended by City there. But Forest keep hold of the ball. Gibbs White. Nice ball through for Williams again. He just couldn't quite control it, but he's managed to win it back here. Anderson now out for a Forest throw-in. Battling hard and getting a bit more joy down that left-hand side, Forest. They just can't really unleash the likes of Elanga and Hudson-Odoi yet one-on-one. But you feel like the more they obviously attempt to do it, the more opportunity they may get as Williams puts in a cross, but it is defended well by City, and they can come away with it now with Bernardo Silva, who wins the foul from Elliot Anderson. Ten minutes of the second half have been played. Forest have looked the brighter of the two teams, I would say, in the second half. But City look like they're finding a bit more rhythm with their passing again. Here's Savio. Gonzalez. Does look good, Gonzalez, doesn't he? It was interesting when they brought him in. It's going to be interesting to see how he sort of complements Rodri when Rodri comes back into the fold. Looks a decent player, though. Got to admit. Savio. Cross goes in. It's blocked. It is a City corner. Big opportunity for City. Forest are normally good, though, from defending set pieces, so we'll see how this goes. Phil Foden going to be taking the set piece. Cross goes in. Looking for Haaland, arriving late, knocks it down to Savio, whose strike is blocked. Now then, I was going to say, could Forest break away there? And Mateus Nunes is going to be booked, or he should be at least, because of the foul on Gibbs-White. Yeah, yellow card's out. Nunes is booked for a foul on Gibbs-White, and that is the second City player to go into the referee's book today, stopping a counter-attack from Forest as Gibbs-White looked to break away. Oh, teams are out for the 3 o'clock games. And obviously I'm going to read out Liverpool one because I don't care about anyone else. Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Konate, Szoboszlai, Jones, Gravenberch, Salah, Nunes, Diaz. Interesting team selection there from Arne Slot. He's gone with Diaz on the left. He's gone with Nunes up front. And he's gone with Curtis Jones instead of Alexis McAllister, who is on the bench. Kelleher, Endo, McAllister, Chiesa, Elliott, Jota, Robertson, McConnell, and Kwanzaa. So, interesting selection there from Arne Slot. A couple of interesting calls there. But, yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty confident whatever team he would have put out. Fingers crossed that we just get the job done today. No messing around, no scares. Just go there, be as professional as you can, and get the job done. That is basically what I am praying and hoping for as far as what Liverpool are concerned for later on today when we take on Southampton at Anfield. So, yeah, fingers crossed that that is the case. It's going to be interesting to see if Arne Slot did rotate with the Champions League in mind, with obviously the Cup final in mind as well. But he's still gone pretty strong. And like I say, he's dropped McAllister to the bench. He's brought in Nunes. He's brought in Jones. Tsimikas replaces Robertson. So, yeah, quite happy with that, in all honesty. A bit of rotation, a bit of rotation, bit of rest in some of those players' legs, and obviously maybe one eye towards Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Towards Tuesday's second leg. Just get the job done. My game plan would be just get the job done by 45 minutes, and then I could start rotating some of you out. Oh. Idea was right, but he was just offside. Yeah, Chris Wood just not been able to get into the game as of right now. Bernardo Silva trying to play through, and it's a good show of strength there from Malanga, and now he can try and race away here, but he's stopped in his tracks by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez needs to be careful because obviously he has already been booked, and stopping a counter-attack like that is just asking for trouble. He gets away with it this time, but I'm not going to be shocked if he's going to be a man to come off here, as both Kovacic and Rico Lewis look set to join the action. Would not be surprised if Gonzalez's name is up. As I imagine one more of them and he'll definitely be off. Here's Gibbs White. Play back out wide. And Forest can keep the ball here. Here's Murillo. Williams. Big slip there. Big slip there from Gibbs White, but Murillo bails him out. Foul by Dominguez. It's going to be Nunes to come off here. Probably right. He does have a yellow card to his name, so I can understand that call. Rico Lewis will come on in his place, and Kovacic enters the play, and Nico Gonzalez. Yeah, I was right. Nico Gonzalez does come off, having potentially run the risk of maybe getting a second yellow card. Guardiola decides to recall him to the bench. Fair enough. I understand that call. Here's Dominguez. Cross goes in. It's a decent one as well. Cleared away by Rico Lewis. And out for a Forest throw-in. Dangerous ball in that. There's no one following it in as far as what Dominguez is concerned. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Elanga. Elanga goes for the cross. It's hit. Elliot Anderson tries to go around the defender. Kastanov stands strong and is able to bring the ball back into his goalkeeper. Here's Foden. It's a shot. It's blocked. It's saved. Ruben Diaz getting forward. Foden fed him, and his shot saved by Matt Sells. Probably the only effort on goal that City have managed to come up with in this half so far. It's been hasn't been the best of attacking performances, and Guardiola's going to make a couple more changes. We've already just seen Rico Lewis and Kovacic enter the fray. It does look like Kevin De Bruyne and Omar Mamouche are preparing to come on as well. Guardiola clearly not happy with things right now, understandably so. Here's Gibbs White now with a bit of space. Chris Wood is on the move. Gibbs White, though, goes alone, has a shot. It's well blocked by Kusanov. Great block by the youngster. Otherwise, that would have been a shot on target, I imagine, from Gibbs White. Murillo now for Forest. Lovely little turn. Keeps possession. Foden chasing down Sells. Sells goes long. Looking for Chris Wood. Found it difficult there, Wood, in this game. Not really had the service into him. Not really had the best of service just in general, really. Whether it be to try and maybe give him some team play, or whether to try and have shot on goal. The only one moment he really had was the one in the first half with a long ball from Sells, as Savio just managed to turn his way through. But the shot is blocked in the end, and Forest can come away with the ball. Here's Foden now. Bit of space to turn into. Plays it out wide to Doku. Doku checks back onto his left. Finds Rico Lewis. Back out wide to Doku. Back to Rico Lewis. Lewis now inside. Savio, poor touch. And Forest can get the ball away. Wood, nice little turn, nice little play. And then Hudson-Odoi does keep the ball in play. Big counter-attack and opportunity. Hudson-Odoi quick shakes it onto his right foot. Plays in Chris Wood. Wood. Back to Anderson. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Checks onto his right foot. Looking to shoot. He does. Oh, it's off the post. It's a brilliant save from Ederson. Hudson-Odoi, we know, can be extremely dangerous on that right foot of his. That is the closest we have come to a goal in this game. Hudson-Odoi smashes a shot at goal, and Ederson does brilliantly well to turn that onto the post. He's a little bit fortuitous as well, but you make your own luck at times. Brilliant save from the Brazilian goalkeeper. And it's still 0-0, but not for the ones that are trying. Hudson-Odoi, very close to opening the scoreline there. I think it may have took a deflection on the way through to Ederson, but either way, kept out. Forest come again with Aina, but this time his cross is saved by Ederson. Wow. Very close to opening the scoreline there for Nottingham Forest. Murillo deals with the cross. Back out, though, to Savio. There's Bernardo Silva. Jeremy Doku. Looking to trick his way in. He manages to get the look of the bounce. He's back with him. He crosses it. It's blocked away. But City come again, trying to break down this very stubborn block that Forest have got going on. But they managed to get Doku through on the right-hand side, and his cross is brilliantly blocked by Nico Williams. See this again. Elliot Anderson just tees up Hudson-Odoi, and it's just, may just have slightly deflected off of Ruben Diaz. It may have been obstructing Ederson's view. But either way, It's a save from Ederson that pushes onto the post. Brilliant from the goalkeeper. As City are finally going to make another double change with Phil Foden coming off, as well as Savio. And on comes Marmoush and Kevin De Bruyne. So you're going to get a bit of movement. You're going to get a bit of skill, a bit of flair. And in De Bruyne's case, you're going to get some creativity. This is going to be an interesting move, this. Dominguez is coming off for Forest as well as they make their change as well, with Ryan Yates coming on in his place. "70 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Forest coming the closest to opening the scoring with Hudson-Odoi's effort crashing onto the post. Nothing quite as clear cut for Nottingham, for Man City so far. Sells goal kick, goes long. Looking for Chris Wood. Wood wins the header, but no one for red shirts picking up the second ball. Here's Doku now, back in the left wing position. De Bruyne. Kovacic. Guardiola. De Bruyne. City just finding it a bit of a struggle to break down this stubborn defence so far. Sanov. Here's Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Working out onto his left, and he plays through Kovacic. Kovacic tries to bundle his way through, but the ball might fall to De Bruyne. And it's just gone over the bar from Kevin De Bruyne. Kovacic trying to break some lines there just by taking the ball and just going at it. And the ball eventually blocks off Murillo, falls kindly to Kevin De Bruyne. But his left foot effort is skewed just wide of the mark. In again, another half chance for Man City. Nothing clear cut, but another half chance goes a begging for City. Cynical challenge. Referee plays advantage though. Interesting to see if he goes back to that one. Bernardo Silva blocked, and Odoi can get the ball away, and it's just gone out of play off the player there. Forest win a goal kick. Forest win a goal kick, and Bernardo Silva is not happy about it. And they are very much going to take their time with this now. They're going to really be testing the patience of the referee's watch. Let's hoping we get goals in the final 20 minutes or so of this game. It's been rather disappointing so far. Hopefully this isn't a trend that's going to go on all weekend. Here's Anderson. Tried to play the ball out wide to Hudson-Odoi. Well cut out there by Bernardo Silva. And between Kusanov and Rico Lewis. Nice bit of play from Kusanov there. They can get it away. Edison goes long. Looking for the run of Jeremy Doku. Cuts inside Aina very, very well. And probably should have won a foul there. But Forest get away with it. And now they can play Elanga down the right-hand side. Elanga tries to play the ball into Gibbs White, but it's well cut out by the City, and they can now try and break free. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, what's he got up his sleeve here? Goes out wide to Doku. It's an interesting battle. This nice little 1-2, just cut out there by Milenkovic. Well watched by the Forest defender, but it's a nice little watch this. Especially now that the game is getting a bit open, a bit stretched, a bit end to end. There's opportunities that are presenting themselves. It's all about who's going to have that extra little bit of quality to make one of these half chances count. Because the opportunity is there for Forest to hit City on the counter attack, but the opportunity is there that with the right movement, the right pass, maybe City can break down this very stubborn block that is in front of them, that is known as the Forest defence. Bernardo Silva getting really hounded and harassed by Nico Williams, but still manages to come out with the ball there. Here's Mamouche. Goes past. He was going to go past Ryan Yates, but Yates blocks him, and he has earned himself a yellow card mere minutes after coming on from the bench. Yellow card for Ryan Yates and a free kick and a decent opportunity for Manchester City. And just for anybody that's keeping score, if Elliot Anderson is to also get carded in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I win 95 quid. So, fingers crossed on that one. De Bruyne. Shooting range for the Belgian playmaker. Strikes it, and it's saved comfortably by Matt Sells. Shot on target, but it wasn't one that was going to be... He tried to hit it low, and it's just straight at Sells in the end. By the Belgian. A bit of a waste of an opportunity that for City. Kind of sums up their day in all honesty. They've not really been able to get one over on Forest so far. De Bruyne. Out wide to Bernardo Silva. It's De Bruyne's first time cross, and Murillo a little bit fortunate there. it was a a bit of a miss-hit cross, in all honesty, by De Bruyne. And Murillo makes a right hash of that clearance. But fortunately, the ball bounces gratefully into the hands of Matt Sells. Now, can Haaland get away here? He's struggling and tussling with Murillo. But eventually the ball does bounce kindly into the hands of Matt Sells. Haaland, unhappy, frustrated, understandably so. It's not been his game so far, but all he needs is one moment. All he needs is one chance. And the likelihood is he will take that opportunity. Long ball up to Chris Wood. Foul by Chris Wood. Making another change here, Forest. Anthony Elanga is the man to be substituted. Off he goes, and on comes Sangare. Sangare is on in place of Anthony Elanga. Silva, reverse pass down the line. Murillo sees it out for a throw into Nottingham Forest and then tries to rile the crowd up as we enter the final 10 minutes or so of this game. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester City 0. Is there a hero that is about to step up and win this game for their side? We shall wait and see. Nico Williams is about to resume play from a throw-in. It goes long down the line looking for Chris Wood. Ball cut out by Rico Lewis, and City can come away with the ball. They knock it out wide to Jeremy Doku. Now he's one-on-one with Aina. Aina's done brilliant. I think Aina against Doku or Savio, whichever one it's been, has been brilliant. The Man City wingers have got no change. And Williams on the other side, to be fair, as well, has done brilliant, whichever winger he's come up against. But the two fullbacks of Forest have given out no change to any of these City wingers. And it's been another dead performance, I would say. I forgot that Phil Foden was even on the pitch until he was substituted. That's how anonymous he's pretty much been. Savio has had nothing out of either fullback. Neither has Jeremy Doku. They've both received a lot of the ball, but at the same time, like I say, they've done absolutely nothing with it. And full credit to both Aina and Williams for what has been a very, 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 very good defensive display from both of those fullbacks as Murillo delivers in a free kick from out wide, looking towards Chris Wood. It drops from Wood, but cleared away, only as far as Sangare, but Sangare slips, and now Mamouche is trying to get away here, but guess who's there again? Aina. Aina stops the counter-attack. Brilliant from the defender. As Gibbs White looks long. Brilliant pass out to the wide. He's got a lot of space over there. And he's going through. And it's 1-0. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi, the man who who moments earlier in the half smashed one against the post from a decent save from Ederson. Callum Hudson-Odoi, oh my, has just put Forest 1-0 up. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if there was like a shift in kind of transition, a shift in play, but it's a long ball. It starts from obviously Aina stopping a counter-attack brilliantly. And then Forest get the ball. They give it to Gibbs White. And Gibbs White just plays one brilliant diagonal ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. And he's just got so much space on that side to close in on the penalty area. And then as soon as I think it is Gvardiol attempts to then make a challenge, it's too late. He's got a clear sight of goal. He goes near post and he manages to smash the ball home. It's a brilliant goal. An absolute brilliant goal by Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Nottingham Forest are 1-0 up. Could that be the winner? Could that be the winner? Hudson-Odoi, 83rd minute, 1-0 Nottingham Forest. Poor goalkeeping, it has to be said, by Ederson. Poor defending by Manchester City in general. And really, that all started from Aina stopping a counter-attack. Sangari slips and could be more here. Chris Wood is in the belt. Oh, he's in the box, but very good defending there by Kusanov to get a block on that. Kusanov? I'm so going to butcher his name until I obviously hear it a lot more. Could be a massive goal. Massive goal. But like I said, that all started because Sangari slips and it allows a potential opportunity for City to break forward. And Aina, brilliant defending. The contrast in defending there between City and Aina, night and day, as Bernardo Silva goes through, cuts the ball back, defended brilliantly by Milenkovic, and it's out. Oh, he's offside anyway, I think. I think Bernardo Silva would have been offside anyway. But fantastic display all round as Hudson-Odoi has picked up a yellow card, I think, for the goal celebration. But the defense, the defending, the difference in defending, absolute night and day as far as what Forest and City are both concerned there. Aina, fantastic. He's been brilliant all game. He's been absolutely brilliant all game as Ola Aina. As we see again here, Hudson-Odoi just working it onto that right foot, going near post and smashing it into the back of the net. Ederson, shocking in goal. City defending woeful. How he's got that much free space on that right-hand side, I don't actually know. No one picking him up. No one going to challenge him when he does pick up the ball. And then by the time he's closed in on the penalty area and then the goal, it's 1-0. It's 1-0 Nottingham Forest. Hudson-Odoi and Chris Wood go off, and on comes Morato and Taiwo Awunyi. So, Forest looking to tighten things up. Forest looking to see out this 1-goal lead and leave Awunyi up front just to battle and use his physical strength against this City defence. Here's Doku. Cuts the ball back for Gvardiol. Diaz. Rico Lewis. Out wide to Sabio. Bernardo Silva. Sabio's already gone off. Boo. Ball luckily bounces back. Rico Lewis is trying to make something of this, but Forest again gets scramble it away. This is probably going to be the pattern of the game from now until the final whistle. Bernardo Silva cuts the ball back. Cross in by Marmoush. Headed away. You're not going to beat Forest like that. It's very unlikely. Here's Bernardo Silva. Cuts the ball back for Kusanov tried to play, and in the end, Marmoush over the top and out for a goal kick. What a job Nuno Espirito Santo's done. What a job that man has done. I was thinking, like, manager of the season. Obviously, they normally tend to give it to the Premier League winner, which does seem a little bit of a cop-out, especially when you consider that other names need to be achieved. And I can get why, if Liverpool do go on and win it, Arne Slot would be up there because fantastic first season with Liverpool, winning the Premier League. Fantastic. But Nuno's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. Andoni Areola at Bournemouth, of course, as well, deserves a special mention with what he's achieved and what he's done so far this season, and especially with the injuries that he's faced as well. It's not been easy. But Nuno Espirito Santo, man, so good. The team is just so well disciplined. It's so well drilled. They're solid as a rock defensively. They're dangerous going forward on the counter-attack. Another cross goes in. That's just headed away. And Awunye now can break free. And here's Gibbs White. Holds the ball up well. Good defending, though. Bernardo Silva. Rico Lewis. Anderson. Foul. Surely that should be a yellow card, ref. No yellow card given. Okay, cool. Whatever. Doku goes round, crosses in, and headed away by Murillo. Let's say Murillo and Milenkovic are just an insane partnership. Just an insane partnership. They're brilliant. Einer's brilliant. Williams is not a natural left back, but he plays brilliantly. Oh, shot there by Kovacic. It was the first real bit of poor defending that Forest have done all game. The clearance wasn't good enough, and it fell to Kovacic. It just kind of sat up nicely for him, and it's just curling away from the post. His effort, very unfortunate by the Croatian midfielder, but Forest get away with that one a little bit there. But as I said earlier, this is about a City team that need an overhaul. They've got too many flashy players that just don't produce anything. Foden, non-existent. Savio, flashy but no end product. Doku, flashy but no end product. They just have too many of those players. They just have too many of those players that look good on the eye and they look exciting to watch, but there's no end product. So when people out there are saying, oh, well, what else does so-and-so do without goals and assists? Yes, I am, of course, talking about Mo Salah. What does Mo Salah do other than goals and assists? Well, he creates. He works hard, defends well, defends from the front, defends from the back, wherever. Gets goals, gets assists, creates an abundance of chances, holds the ball up well, everything. And above all, has got a very good, consistent end product. Unlike so many other players that people will sit there and tell you they are ballers. Ballers FC need to get in the bin. Oh, he's a baller. He's got skills. Great. Go and play futsal. If you're that good, go play futsal. If you're that flashy, go do that. Go play some five-a-side. Because it's not welcome in a game in which you rely on end product. It may look entertaining. It may look nice on the eye. But if you've got no end product, you're practically useless. And that's what so many of these City players are. Because you have a player like Erling Haaland up front. Where's the creativity? Where is the service? There isn't. There's no service. And if there's no service, Haaland is essentially useless. And you're playing with 10 men. Full-time whistle's gone. Massive win for Nottingham Forest. They remain in third, but go 4 points clear of fourth place Manchester City. Another defeat for Pep Guardiola's side in this one. And all of a sudden, the top four race for City, well, not really all of a sudden, but the top four race for City doesn't exactly look pretty at all. Callum Hudson-Odoi, the difference maker, with the only goal of the game in brilliant fashion by the winger. An absolute fantastic display by Forest. Deserved winners. Defended resolutely, reduced City to pretty much nothing when going forward. And in the second half especially, created a couple of opportunities that really did turn the game in their favour. And Callum Hudson-Odoi with the only goal of the game. I thought Ola Aina was absolutely fantastic. I thought he was probably man of the match. I felt he had Doku in his pocket in the first half. He then had Savio in his pocket the second half. And then in the second half of the second half, decided to put Doku from one pocket to the other pocket. That is how much Aina was so good in that game. I thought Nico Williams was brilliant. I thought the whole team were brilliant, really. But Williams and Aina in particular were absolutely brilliant in that game defensive-wise. Anderson in the midfield alongside Dominguez, really good engine in there. Gibbs White put himself about a lot. Good creativity, gets the assist for the goal. Brilliant pass out wide to Hudson-Odoi to set him up. Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, constant thorns in the side of the City defence. I thought it was a very good game all around by Nottingham Forest, in all honesty. And like I say, they are very much deserved winners of this game. A massive 3 points. 3 points that is big for Forest. They are now 3 points behind Arsenal, 4 points ahead of City. And obviously with it seemingly being top five, that may get England and the Premier League, 5 Champions League teams in for next season. That is a massive 3 points in terms of the top four race for Nuno Espirito Santo's side. And City, I hate to say it, may have to start looking over their shoulder. Another poor performance, another absolute stinker from certain players. I think the only one that I can really say for City that can hold their head up high is probably Kusanov. I probably said his name about 6 or 7 times differently in this in this live stream. But no, in all honesty, Kusanov, because I felt he was like the only one that can really hold his head up high. I thought he was actually really good today. I thought defensive-wise, he was strong. I thought he was alert. Just not necessarily his fault that City conceded a very poor goal, in all honesty. So, fair play to Nottingham Forest. And that is where we're going to end things. Congratulations to Nottingham Forest. A big 3 points, a big win. Fully deserving winners of this game. Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated to each and every single one of you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all so much for watching this game with me. Thank you for everybody that contributed in the chat, to Titan Rowan, to Jordan, to Lucky, to whoever else joined as well. Thank you all so much. I very much appreciate you guys contributing, helping out, and supporting the channel in any which way you can. Absolutely awesome of you guys. Cannot thank you enough. I've been Fletch. This has been another watch along. Congratulations once again to Nottingham Forest, and I am out of here. I'll see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.